Morning, everybody. Get my voice working here. It's about 5 or 10 till 6 in the morning here on a Friday, October the 3rd. We're walking up the mountain here, so up from Sabang to Kabayagan as usual. See how this goes. This morning is kind of peaceful and relatively cool for the Philippines, so I got an early start, probably 15-20 minutes earlier than normal. But today I wanted to, one of the topics was once again, cost of living and different, try to put hopefully a few different words or perspective on things here. And the biggest thing is, it always, a big word I like to use or something, or covers a lot of things. It really depends. So I hear people all the time, highlighting a low ball number. You can live here for 500 or 1,000 or some certain number, and all this is could be true, but also what's realistic, and I think is something that you don't hear a lot about. If you come from a foreign country, you're an expat here, and your cost is generally going to be up 25-50% higher because of they call it, nickname it, the skin tax or whatever. You simply don't know the where to buy things cheaply. When you first get here, you don't know the prices of stuff. So you get off the plane, for example, and somebody's telling me a story. They got off the plane, they grabbed a ride, they said, take me here, drove around the corner about 10-12 minutes, got out, said, thank you, how much? Because that's kind of what you do when you first get here. You just think it's a normal activity, but that ride cost him like 2,000 pesos, which was about 20 times or some number higher than what it should have cost. So a lot of stuff like that goes on. So as you acclimate and get used to things, your cost of living here is going to go down in that manner. But it's always going to be up, no matter. I'm here 3 years and I still catch myself paying extra for things. And realistically, you can do that in any country. I mean, you go to America, you want a $100 meal, well, you can spend $100, 5,000 pesos, or you can go and get something to eat for 15-20. It's much more common. So things are very similar, despite the different countries and different things like that. The other thing, I'll see if I can keep my mind straight this morning, so bear with me. But, just the different costs. I'll say, I think my number one cost a lot of times is switches between, housing, rent, and I would say edged out a little bit by transportation. If you go places on a routinely basis and you want to take like I live here in Sabang near the ocean, I want to take a boat trip. Well, I get prices usually on average 1,500 to 3,000 pesos for an hour ride someplace, back and forth. Go visit an island or go up and see another beach. So that's pretty substantial here. You got to keep in mind, again, 1,000 pesos, $20. $20 in America, no big deal, cheap. $20 here is not cheap. It's most people take them 3 or 4 days during that here, the average Filipino. So you got to keep them things in mind. So I find transportation, just like you get off in Iloilo or Port-au-Prince or Manila, different places I've been, and you want to go for a trike ride, you need to get down to a town somewhere, government building, maybe 15-20 minutes away. Well, it's anywhere from generally 100 peso to 300, 400 peso. And then you get done there and you want to go back, it's another 100 to 400 pesos, depending on, you know, how much you are aware of what it should be and where you're going. Because people say, oh, it's an hour, 20 minutes, and ends up being 5-10 minutes away or something. Or they say 10 kilometers and it's more like 2 or 3. So the more you know, the better. Can be aggravating as well, but so just keep them things in mind. So again, I think transportation's a big one. Rent is a big one. I would say between them two, and then food is not far behind. Again, it's a wide variance on everything typically because of you know, where you live and the prices of food. Anything tourist is going to cost you more. Tourist area, a mall will be more American priced. You go out in the province and you go to a little sorry restaurant or store, and that's going to be probably one of your most economical. As far as eating out, the most economical is almost always going to be eating at home, where you're not paying for a service, because no matter how cheap or what you're paying, you are paying that person's wages, and the store owners wants to have profit, so they're making two people's making some small income off of you. So eating at home is always the cheapest, almost always. There's probably always exceptions to everything. So yeah, transportation, food, shelter. And then people will say, you know, go back and forth and they go, well, I own a home and that's, you know, very cheap. Well, typically here again, if you're an expat, you're going to spend, I would say on average for a lot and house, you know, 1 to 3 million pesos. And then when you get that, a lot of people don't ever talk about the cost of, you know, maintaining. You have a storm, a tropical storm, it damages your roof. Well, you not only have paid for the house, but you've got to pay for repair now. So that type of stuff, that's where people get themselves in trouble when they get a little extra money and they think, well, I'm going to rent a new scooter, or not rent, but buy a new scooter or a car here. A lot of people do that nowadays, especially the scooter and more on the cars, because of the payment cheap, but payment not so cheap after 6 months or a couple years, and you need new tires and brakes, and then your payment that month is double, triple, or quadruple what it normally is, and that's where the problems come in. I know numerous people that have got their, you know, lost their car or motorbike because they couldn't make the payment. And then when they are renting or doing something like that, buy to own, the interest rates and charges can be really, you know, quite shocking. A gentleman here told me he bought a motorcycle. I said, what'd you pay for that? About 110,000 pesos. I said, well, what's a cash price? He said, oh, about 50. So the interest rate was, loan rate was double on that. So, which is just, you know, way too much, not smart to do. In my opinion, it should be illegal, but I guess you have choice. So I would suggest don't do that. But the you know, water's relatively cheap, taxes, that type of stuff, in comparison to America, is fairly cheap. Electricity can be expensive, especially if you're burning it up with the internet and air conditioning, and have a lot of electric usages. So I think it's, my bill's been about, on the electric end, 30 to 60 bucks a month on that. It just, again, it varies. I've not been using aircon for a year or two much, and then when it was higher, that's when I was using aircon every night. I've gotten acclimated to not using it, and the places I live and here in the Philippines in general are just not very common to have AC, so it just, to me, it's easier to not have it for a couple hours than to have it and then not have it the rest of the day and can't find a car or place that has it, so you get spoiled, and it makes it more difficult to go in and out of it, if you know what I mean. So that's some of the things, the cost, you know, I just say, you know, be prepared to pay extra till you learn it, and transportation's a big one. I don't think that gets talked about enough. People talk about, you know, the house and food, and I think them are also two big ones. But when I'm moving around a lot or exploring an area or first settling in, man, I'm spending 2,000 pesos a day just going back and forth. So again, another $20 to $40 trying to find my way, and, you know, and getting overcharged many times. But all that stuff gets a little bit better as you get along. And then, of course, people's answer, like I said earlier, you know, well, just get a bike, you're going to save lots of money. Well, you may or may not save lots of money, because you have to purchase the bike, and then you have to repair the bike, and, you know, and gas and stuff. Speaking of fuel here, it's about, it varies, but 55 peso to 65 peso right now here in Sabang. And it generally about 15-20 pesos higher here, because you're in the small province tourist area, Sabang. So it's a off topic a minute. It's a beautiful morning. There's the mountains and the clouds around it, and we're about halfway to Kabayagan almost. So that's kind of my thoughts on the cost of living. So would I come over here, or could I come over here and live for 500 or 1,000 pesos a day? Yes. Would I recommend it, or I think it's a good move? No. But if you got over here and got in trouble and you had to, you live on what I always find in life, if you've got $3,000 a month, you're going to spend nearly $3,000. If you got $1,000, that's what you're used to spending. If you got a $10,000, $20,000 a month budget, and you're used to that, well, that's what you're gonna be used to. So I would say for most expats, I would say 1,500 is a low end figure that I would figure on a day. 1,500 pesos, or 15 or $1,000 a month would be the lower numbers, approximately. And then on the higher low side, I would say 2,500 to $2,000 a month. And you're gonna have some wiggle room and comfort, of course, the way whatever you choose. And at the end of the day, it's pick a budget and live within that. And because people certainly do. It's like this family that works the farm here. I'm sure they're living on, you know, $250, $500 a month or something, as many of the Filipinos do here, especially in the provinces. And yes, there are some that are, you know, pretty successful. They might be making 3, 4, 5, 10,000 pesos a day with their business, and they've worked in a different country and saved up some money and made some investments, or got lucky, or have a rich family history here and money's been handed down and land and something like that. But what you see there is much more common there. Somebody, little bamboo house with a metal roof, and here they just build, I think that's mainly like a little work area. I could be wrong. It might be potential house or business in the future. But there's a place they just built the past 6 months and cleared the lot, and there's the beautiful mountains in the background. So that's my thought. So just plan on extra as usual in life. If you plan on more issues and you have less, then you're pleasantly surprised if you run over here and you think, oh, I hear so-and-so, every channel wants to give out a low ball number, make it sound appealing, and yeah, you can live on that. But can most people do it? And there's reasons why you can and cannot. If you're just an expert on the Philippines and culture, and you're well-traveled, and you know how to haggle and prices very well, then you can live cheaper here. If you get off the plane, you don't know much. You think you don't know where you're at, and somebody says it's 10 kilometers, and they're going to charge you a certain amount. Well, you'll probably say yes and go, and then you're have an unexpected bill. So just keep them things in mind. Philippines is what it is. It's not overly bad or good. It's just what it is, and adapting to that part of life. Just like as you age, you adapt to your age and health situation and financial situation, and in time you will adapt here, or you will fail and break and have a hard time, or go back to your country. So I'd say just be prepared and give yourself a little extra time and extra thought and extra money. And above everything, I say in most of my videos, just take your time here. Don't rush to get things. Think about things. Ask around. Get multiple 6, 7, 10, 12 different opinions and questions on something before you act on it, because there's all kinds of hidden and information, and you're going to get. You ask 6 people, you're likely to get almost 6 different prices or answers to your question. Well, that's my time on cost of living, we'll call it, here in the Philippines. And yes, it's another video, and why that is because people constantly ask the question, and it's a daily thing. What's my cost? It's like me. What did that cost today? What did that water cost? What I spend today? So it's a never-ending topic, a never-ending discussion. Things cost money, and that's why it's discussed, like everything else in life. So it's rehashed and rehashed. So politics and religion, and people go to church every week, and been doing that for hundreds and thousands of years, and been voting for certain politicians that are going to make something so much better and cheaper, and that continues. And the continuation of cost of living in different places in the Philippines also continues. Thanks for your time. That's it. I'm going to take a little break and then continue my walk. Thanks for watching, everybody.